the blood vessels, respiratory, and digestive. So I'm only going to have a few questions because you already had your practical on that. So for the heart, there's going to be about three things that I'll ask you guys on there. So on the list, it's mainly just the chambers of the heart and some of the structures that are associated with the valves. So you need to know the sides, right side, left side. So right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. Do you remember which valves on the right side? I think I heard it. Tricuspid, yeah. On the left side is the bicuspid or mitral valve. And then the strings that attach to the valves are what? Chordae, tendonae, capillary muscles, interventricular septum, and I think that's everything on your list. Yeah, that is. So 2 or 3 of those probably. And then for what's next? Okay, so for blood vessels, there's 3, maybe 3 or 4 blood vessels only using the torso model. So that eliminates some that you can't see on the torso model. Like gastric artery, can't see on there. The main ones that are visible are the ones that are like in the neck and the chest, and then down here. Remember from before, like what I asked you guys before on here? So in the neck, what is the major artery? The red? Carotid artery, yeah. And the major vein in the neck, right next to it? Jugular vein, right. What about out here? These 2 veins? Subclavian veins. And then what if I pointed in here? Brachiocephalic veins, right. So if it's out here, it's subclavian. If it's in here after the jugular has united with the subclavian vein, so all the way down here, it's brachiocephalic. Okay, also make sure, I think 1 or 2 people did this, or I don't know if it was my other section, but you do have to tell me if it's an artery or a vein. Like you can't just say brachiocephalic, because there is a brachiocephalic artery. So if you just say brachiocephalic, or if you just say femoral down here, I don't know if you mean artery or vein, so it's, you get half off. So I don't know if it was this class, but 1 or 2 people did do that. Make sure you tell me if it's the artery or the vein. Okay, so these in blue are all, these are veins. So subclavian, brachiocephalic, and then down here, all the iliac arteries. So remember, common iliac arteries are up here, and then each of those splits. So down here, the branch that stays medial is the internal iliac artery, right there. And the branch that goes more lateral, goes externally, it enters the legs. So out here is the external iliac artery. You guys don't need to tell me right and left for any of them. I won't make you do that. But just tell me the name and artery or vein. Okay, and then down here, femoral artery is red, femoral vein, blue. Okay, so maybe 3 of those. Respiratory is going to be easy. It's only this or the lungs, which I think every single person got right when I asked like the lobes of the lungs. So on here, what you can see is the 2 cartilages, the thyroid cartilage and the cricoid cartilage, trachea, primary bronchi. That's it. And then lungs, just knowing the lobes. So this is the right, this is the left. The left is smaller, it has that cardiac notch. So left, you have superior lobe, inferior lobe. And right, you have superior lobe, middle lobe, inferior lobe. Okay, so there are, I think, 2 respiratory questions, 1 or 2. Yeah. 1 or 2, respiratory. Digestive system, 3 to 4. I'm only going to use the torso model, like with the organs that are part of it, or the digestive chart over there. So 3 to 4 questions, not a whole lot. The organ models, you have the liver, left lobe, right lobe, gallbladder, the small intestine, large intestine is all around the outside, appendix, that little thing, cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, rectum, the last section. Spleen, the gray, pancreas, the orange. I guess I could do the salivary gland, parotid, submandibular is right under the mandible, and then sublingual is under the tongue. And I'll go over to that chart in a sec. Let me just finish up with the models first. So there's only a couple digestive questions. And then the main focus is on urinary and reproductive. Actually, I'll just do that real quick right now. And then I'll come back to the models. So on here, just that main picture, you have esophagus, stomach, spleen, liver, gallbladder. I could do the 2 membranes that are on here. Do you remember this one? Greater omentum, right? And then the one that's in between the small intestine? Mesentery, yeah. Mesentery. All right, so not a lot from digestion.